Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to cover. We have topics ranging from games like Horizon Forbidden West and GT7 getting discounted, to Call of Duty losing over 50 million players, as well as the potential of seeing some more Spider-Man 2 and maybe, possibly, Wolverine at an upcoming Disney event. So we're going to get into these topics. Before we do me a big favor. If you do enjoy the video or find it informative, be sure to leave it a like. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you feel so inclined, consider hitting that join button as well and becoming a channel member to get access to some exclusive perks. But diving into the first topic, we have big games like Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo 7 being discounted in the US. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that these games are being sold at a lower price point. Reading from PlayStation Universe, they say Gran Turismo 7 and Horizon Forbidden West have received discounts on PS5 and PS4 in North America across selected retailers, giving you the chance to pick up two of the biggest PlayStation releases of the year on the cheap. PlayStation Direct, GameStop, Target, Best Buy, and Amazon have the PS4 versions of both games for $39.99, whereas they would normally sell for $59.99. Meanwhile, the PS5 versions of GT7 and Horizon Forbidden West are priced at $49.99. There's a bunch of other discounts running across retailers, including Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection and MLB The Show 22. The PlayStation Direct sale will run until August 13th, so you still have a decent amount of time to take advantage of the offers. And while you're at it, don't forget that the PlayStation Store is having a summer sale, which they're calling it Summer Sale Part 2, which is now live and has discounts on over 900 games. So not only did I just want to inform everybody about this and let you know that these games are on sale right now, this is also another example showing that when it comes to the discourse surrounding $70 PlayStation 5 exclusives, it's really not nearly as big of a deal as some people want to make it out to be, because we've always said that all you have to do is just be patient and wait a little bit, and these games will go down in price, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So for those who were not up to paying full price for games like Horizon Forbidden West and GT7, games that came out not that long ago in February and March, you can now get them for a cheaper price point, and there's a good chance that the price is just going to continue to be reduced as time goes on. So let me know if you're planning to pick either of these games up. Moving on to the next topic, we have a pretty significant PS5 update for Dying Light 2 that I want to let you guys know about. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, it says Techland has announced that Dying Light 2 PS5 version will get variable refresh rate, or VRR support, along with a balanced mode in the game's next update. We still don't have a release date for the update, but Techland has been teasing upcoming content and randomly dropping information on Twitter. The developer has promised that it will share more details in the coming weeks, so expect to hear more about these modes soon. The aforementioned balanced mode will target dynamic 4K at 60 frames per second, whereas the VRR mode will support 1080p at an unlocked frame rate. Now, I wanted to let everybody know about this because I do think that Dying Light 2 is one of the bigger AAA titles that has released thus far in 2022, but one of the problems with this game, specifically on the current generation consoles, is the performance mode wasn't where people were hoping it would be at. If I'm not mistaken, it was locked at 1080p 60 FPS, and people were hoping for, at the very least, a dynamic 4K, and so this should help with that. As they say, they have a balanced mode, and that is going to implement that dynamic 4K. I think a lot of people who are either still playing this game or planning to go back to it will be appreciative of that, and it is cool that they are adding a VRR mode. So if that's something you're able to take advantage of, it will be available in Dying Light 2. But continuing on here, we have an interesting write-up from Push Square, where the title of the article says, Sony's not the only one struggling to hold PS5 and PS4 players' attention. So they say here, in its recent financial report, Sony revealed that it would take action as PS5 and PS4 owners were playing a lot less than it anticipated. The firm noted that gameplay time declined a significant 15% year over year for the 3-month period ending on June 30th, 2022, a pretty huge slump all things considered, but it's being reflected right across the industry. Call of Duty, for example, is having a torrid time, which will likely be affecting PlayStation's engagement statistics as well. The franchise saw its active players dwindle from 127 million this time last year to just 94 million now. That's a 33 million active user decline, and it contributed to a 28% slump in revenue. In fact, Activision Blizzard's numbers have been on a bit of a downward spiral since peaking in March 2021, and this is the lowest they've been since 2019. It's probably safe to assume that the reduction of lockdown restrictions is playing a pretty major part here, although Call of Duty Vanguard has largely been considered a misfire by the firm as well. All of this is having an impact on the industry's bottom line. According to NPD data in the United States, overall spending in the sector slumped by 13% in the most recent quarter, falling a dramatic $1.78 billion year over year. The cost of living crisis isn't helping, of course, with many more concerned about their bills than the latest tentpole AAA video games. After a couple of years of unprecedented growth, it's clear that reality is beginning to bite for platform holders like PlayStation and its various publishing partners. So this was pretty interesting because I do think that when you look at what's going on with Activision here and Call of Duty, it does kind of start to paint a bigger picture here, or a broader picture, where you can see that it's not just Sony that is being affected by this, and obviously something that is affecting Call of Duty user engagement is ultimately going to affect PlayStation user engagement as well. And the reason why I mentioned earlier in this video a loss of 50 million players is because when you take into account not just console players but also Call of Duty mobile players, then that number goes from about 33 million players no longer engaged with Call of Duty up to 50 million players no longer engaged. So I do think that Call of Duty Vanguard likely had a big part to play in this. I think that with the launch of Modern Warfare 2, it's going to be good for Activision, it's going to be good for PlayStation, it's going to be good for Xbox. I think it's going to be pretty much good all around because, I mean, the hype for Modern Warfare 2 is definitely much, much, much higher than what we saw and what we're seeing with Call of Duty Vanguard. But I just thought it would be interesting to kind of go over this data with you guys. And continuing to talk about Call of Duty briefly, we did get more information that apparently there will be premium paid content for Call of Duty in 2023. Reading from Gaming Bolt, it says, earlier this year, reports claimed that for the first time in nearly 2 decades, Call of Duty's annual release cycle will be disrupted in 2023, with Activision allegedly deciding not to release a new premium entry in the first-person shooter franchise next year. Of course, that doesn't mean there won't be any new Call of Duty content whatsoever. In fact, it looks like there will even be new paid content. That's what Activision has confirmed during its recent quarterly financial briefing, that it has, quote, new premium content planned for 2023 and beyond, end quote, for the Call of Duty franchise. That statement, of course, isn't very specific. New premium content doesn't necessarily mean a new game, and could also be referring to new paid DLC for this year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Recent reports have also claimed that developer Infinity Ward has 2 full years of content planned for the game in lieu of Call of Duty 2023. So yeah, there's been rumors of a standalone zombies game. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but there's, this new standalone mode. I don't know if it's going to be standalone or integrated into Modern Warfare 2, but it's called like DMZ. And, it's hard to say what exactly this paid content's going to be, but I thought this was worth mentioning because we were under the impression, based off of previous reports, that there wouldn't be anything, but apparently there will be something. Moving on to the next topic, we have somewhat of an update on the Tomb Raider leak. Square Enix demands Patreon remove leaked Tomb Raider script. Reading from VGC, they say Crystal Dynamics has filed a DMCA request via Patreon to Last Stand Media after hosts on one of its podcasts read out a script which is reportedly being used to cast actors for the next Tomb Raider game. The script, which was widely reported on, was featured in an episode of Sacred Symbols podcast. According to host Colin Moriarty, he was contacted by Patreon and asked to remove the offending material or risk being suspended from the platform. According to Moriarty, the DMCA takedown came via Square Enix. The Japanese publisher has agreed to sell Crystal Dynamics and the Tomb Raider IP to Embracer, but the completion of the deal is still subject to various regulatory and other external approvals. And yeah, I wanted to just kind of update you guys on this and let you know, because this all but confirms that whatever the contents were in this leak and the script specifically were legitimate. If they weren't, Square Enix would certainly not be taking things this far. And so it's interesting because it seems like people are kind of mixed to a degree with this Tomb Raider leak. Some people are saying it just kind of sounds like, yeah, it's another Tomb Raider game. It doesn't really sound that interesting in the sense of it doesn't sound like it's really going to break any new ground. Most people are in agreement that, yep, that sounds like another Tomb Raider game, which isn't a bad thing. But I have seen some people express excitement in the fact that apparently with this upcoming Tomb Raider game, Lara Croft is going to be seasoned. She's not going to be new to this, and I think people are excited about that because some people were waiting for that, whereas the recent Tomb Raider trilogy we got really kind of focused on her beginnings and kind of becoming known as, you know, the Tomb Raider and whatnot. And so it will be interesting to again get our first look at this game, but I wanted to let you know that this leak is 100% legitimate, in case you were wondering. Next up, I want to give you a very, very brief update on EVO 2022, just letting you know that Mortal Kombat 12 will not be announced. I felt the need to let everybody know about this because we know Sony is kind of making a pretty big deal out of EVO 2022, and they did say that there will be new announcements for fighting game fans. Of course, a lot of fighting game fans excited and eager to learn more about the next Mortal Kombat game, but Ed Boon took to Twitter and he said, "Accept Mortal Kombat, sorry," basically saying that it's not going to be there. And then he continues by saying, "It's time for Street Fighter and other great fighting games to be in the sun. Let's enjoy that." So very humble, very cool of Ed Boon to kind of, you know, say that, but, you know, trying to make it clear to everybody that if you are a Mortal Kombat fan and you're hoping to see the next game during EVO, it's not going to be there. So we'll just have to continue to be patient for the next Mortal Kombat game announcement. But we are moving on to the next topic, which is the final topic. And I think Spider-Man and Wolverine fans are going to want to pay attention to this. Disney is holding their big event in September, the D23 Expo. It runs from September 9th through the 11th. And they say here on the official website that Marvel makes an epic return to D23 Expo with a thrilling lineup of panels, events, first looks, and more. Marvel is unveiling a can't-miss lineup of panels, stage events, guest appearances, exclusive merchandise, giveaways, and more. Throughout the weekend at D23 Expo, fans won't want to miss Marvel's panels and stage events, diving into what's next for Marvel Studios, a celebration of 60 beyond amazing years of Spider-Man, and an exciting current look at Marvel games and more. Now, it's that last part that we might want to pay attention to, because we know that Sony is working with Marvel with Insomniac Games on Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, two of the biggest upcoming PlayStation exclusives that fans are extremely eager to learn more about. Now, I don't want to say for sure that these are the Marvel games that are going to appear here. I feel like Spider-Man will make some type of an appearance in some way, shape, or form, simply because they're celebrating, you know, 60 beyond amazing years. It's kind of a big deal for Spider-Man, so it really would make sense for Spider-Man 2 to show up to some degree. But when it comes to a game like Wolverine, there's always the chance that it could show up here. I do want to say that it seems unlikely to me that we're going to see these games outside of a PlayStation event. So that means we could maybe get a PlayStation event before this expo happens. And so we'll get our look at these games during a PlayStation event, and then we'll see more at D23. Or maybe D23 could just tease a little something, and then we'll get more a little bit later on if the PlayStation event, if there is going to be one, happens afterwards. But again, we do know that there are apparently other AAA Marvel games in development, so maybe this is where they plan to announce some of those. But nonetheless, I wanted to make everybody aware of this because this is, you know, kind of outside of the gaming industry, and so I feel like a lot of people probably aren't aware of it or not paying as much attention to it. And so I'll be sure to keep you guys updated if anything of significance is announced at D23 in regards to some upcoming PlayStation games or Marvel games, I'll be sure to keep you in the know. But that does it for the video. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, leave it a like if you did. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.